The next morning, if you wake up and notice your phone shows a different time than your wall clock, you might think your system glitched. But if over 1 billion devices worldwide display time drift, even atomic clocks fail, and AS and Beidou satellite systems fall out of sync, and the UN declares global time has lost stability, then you must confront a harsh reality: we have lost control over the now. On August 28, 2025 at 3:14 an unexpected post-credits Easter egg from The Simpsons season 47 was prematurely streamed across multiple platforms. In those few seconds, the Simpson family clock reversed its hands. Graphic frames fragmented, and a shocking vision appeared: Martin Luther King holding hands with Kim Kardashian walking past Springfield's church, Napoleon roaring at the Krusty Burger staff, "I demand to rewrite history," and Steve Jobs wearing a hoodie teaching Marge how to use the iPhone 25 to take a selfie of the moon. Many viewers assumed it was AI-generated or a hacking prank, but it was only the prelude to catastrophe. Within the next 72 hours, the global time system collapsed. iPhones, Androids, Samsung devices all set time zones. People physically in New York were suddenly transported to 1871 Chicago fire hologram scenes. A Tokyo news anchor's broadcast backdrop turned into footage from the Meiji Restoration. NASA reported lunar gravitational anomalies, causing Earth's time-waves to undergo a virtual split. The so-called Simpson time dilation, once a fictional gag, was officially designated by the U.S. Department of Defense as a spacetime interface leak. Humanity formally acknowledged cartoon time and real-world time had a physical connection. Experts attributed this to a global psychological tipping point called the collective emotion compression point. From pandemics, AI takeover, financial collapse to climate crises, global mental tension peaked during the summer of 2025. The Simpsons, as the longest-running animated series, had abandoned linear time logic long ago, as people unconsciously projected their longing, fear, nostalgia, and anxiety into its fictional universe. The world's time logic rebounded into reality, creating a reverse nested effect. The first anomalies emerged in the U.S. In a Kentucky elementary school, students jointly wrote English essays in Shakespearean grammar and claimed they witnessed Abraham Lincoln giving a speech in their morning classroom. FBI investigations ruled out hallucinations, yet surveillance footage did show a tall, slender figure resembling Lincoln at the lectern, then fading away. Social media erupted with eyewitness accounts of these time overlap sightings, labeling the phenomenon Simpson Overlap Syndrome. The situation escalated rapidly. In early September 2025, Paris city center was suddenly filled with medieval trumpet blares. Fountains near the Louvre transformed into a night's plaza. President Macron had to lock down the city core to prevent further historical chaos. In China, the Forbidden City displayed Ming Dynasty Imperial Guard symbols, and visitors captured a king emperor's apparition in palace halls, immediately crashing social media. The UN convened an emergency space-time consistency summit, but delegations found that even the conference room clocks ran inconsistently, and speakers' voices experienced several -second delays. Characters from The Simpsons gradually bled into reality. At Silicon Valley's AI Ethics Summit on September 12, 2025, all screens abruptly switched to Professor Frank the Simpsons' mad scientist uttering human absurdities. Have torn all timelines apart. The Simpson timeline shall become dominant. Initially dismissed as a hack, no one could deny the speech's internal logic and predictive accuracy. From then on, The Simpsons post-credits always surfaced hours before major global events as symbolic foreshadowing. Technocratic efforts to repair the time leaks failed, and the algorithmic fixes were invariably pulled back by Simpson time echoes. One proposal became known as Project Reverse Simpson. Completely halt The Simpsons broadcasts to break the emotional link. Fox officially removed all related episodes, but within a week, unauthorized Simpsons seasons resurfaced across over 1,000 underground channels, each containing new reality-fold clues. Time was no longer humanity's tool. It became a runaway stallion, rushing across the boundaries of fiction and reality, and The Simpsons were the key that unlocked Pandora's box. As the time distortions intensified, human civilization entered an unprecedented phase of historical parallelism. UNESCO recorded 197 instances of real-history fusion within just 1 month. Horse-drawn carriages racing on a Teslas along Fifth Avenue, Roman gladiators mingling with tourists in the Colosseum, and both Soviet anthems and TIKTOK beats playing simultaneously in Moscow's Red Square. At the core of all these anomalies was Springfield. On October 3, 2025, the Pentagon released the Simpson Intermapping Report, acknowledging that Springfield's GPS coordinates were continuously shifting, never fixed, to any real U.S. state. Even more astonishing, every severe history overlap zone could be retroactively traced to specific Simpsons episode air times. In other words, an episode's broadcast timestamp determined when and where its events manifested in the real world. This concept, narrative temporarily bound to geographic reality, shattered conventional physics. Under immense public pressure, Fox announced plans for AI-edited versions of the entire series to scrub all prophetic content. But an anonymous hacker collective known as TimeCrack47 infiltrated Fox servers, releasing a full season of unaired episodes. In one episode, President Biden broadcasts a statement: the United States is transferring daily time control to ChatGPT Prime to ensure synchronized clocks globally. Within days, that statement came true, only the speaker was Elon Musk. By late October 2025, the time leaks centered a high overlap phase. Physical spacetime began visibly duplicating. People saw it as suns. Some regions experienced daytime at midnight, and certain individuals exhibited multi-dimensional drift, simultaneously existing into places. A Berlin artist captured a photo of himself walking Picasso along a city street in the 20th century. A photograph verified by multiple international experts as authentic. In Springfield, the U.S. government's so-called space-time containment zone was now symbolic. The town existed in a bizarre composite reality state. Donald Trump campaigned at City Hall for a multiverse. President of America Taylor Swift performed in a bar rest in 1960's hippie garb while singing lyrics laced with 19th-century poetry. Yet the Simpson family continued daily life, as if all this was just normal. Many say they aren't characters, they are temporal anchors. Temporal scientists now claim that Simpson obeys a rule called the reconstructive narrative loop law. When reality veers too close to chaos, it automatically generates a satirical script which folds real-world events into the animated narrative. Now it operates backwards, folding all human history back into reality via The Simpsons. All of us are becoming extras in the Simpson universe. On November 1, 2025, the global clock network collapsed. The International All-Time Coalition disbanded. In its place, a new body, Global Narrative Stabilization Agency, was formed, with cultural giants like Nolan, Murakami, and Stephen King as consultants, aiming to reconstruct temporal stability through literary and storytelling framework. Humanity had never considered this. Our world isn't held together by physics, it's held together by stories. In the end, the international consensus became chillingly clear: The Simpsons don't predict the world, they constructed. When masses focus their attention on a fictional source, it stops being fiction and becomes a reality generator.